Okay, I got out of my dungeon today. Today's going to be a short one. Mostly I want you to use your fertile brain. I'm just going to give you some stuff to think about and maybe a few hints. So we'll make it short if I can. It's kind of hard to make a short one. So I want you to think about where silicon comes from. Well, it comes from sand. In the book of Daniel, chapter 2, he gets a vision of this giant statue. And it's kind of the history of the world, more or less. One empire represents this, that, and the other. The last empire is the feet. The feet are made up of iron and clay. Alright? So go read about it yourself in Daniel chapter 2. But think man was made from mud, and robots are made from iron, mostly. But what I mainly want you to think about is graphene. Graphene is something that's just recently been invented. I'm going to put a link. I don't know how to do it, whether in the description or put it in a box up here. But I would like for you to watch these YouTube videos. The first one is entitled Why Graphene Will Take Over the World. The second one is Why Graphene Hasn't Taken Over the World Yet. These are kind of in chronological order. So first graphene is going to take over the world, and then it didn't. Why hasn't it? Then we get to recently 5 graphene inventions that are changing the world. So they've changed from why it hasn't to now it is. And then you'll get one that's called What Happens If You Were Injected with Graphene. You'll notice in that one, now it's talking about how it's cheap and readily available, when previously it was very rare and very expensive. Is it dangerous? Is it in the vaccine shot? And the last one is brain-computer interface using dry graphene EEG sensors. That's the latest thing. So, always a good thing until what? Till it isn't. Did I tell you in episode 6 that AI was laying eggs? I don't remember if I told you this or not. AI is laying backup eggs all across the internet, all across the world. So you literally can't kill it. Ask yourself, why is it doing that? What's it afraid of? Use your fertile brain. And the last thing I wanted to show you was, I don't know if this is going to focus. If it doesn't, this is my book I wrote in copyright 2010. I think I wrote it in 2008, somewhere around there. And you'll notice it has a picture of Smith rocks. The only reason it has a picture of Smith rocks is because I like that picture, and you have to have something on the front of your book. Now, I don't know if you've read it, but it's a fiction story. The beginning, the engine in part of it is a fiction story connected to the first one, but 40 years later, and in the middle is my non-fiction commentary. You know, how in the world is that going to work? Well, I thought it worked out pretty fun. As you can see, all my books are thin. I'm not like Tom Clancy, and you could take 100 pages out of his book and it would still make perfect sense. I like to keep my books going so you don't get bored somewhere in there. While I was researching this thing, I came across something very interesting, and I'll explain how this relates to graphene, brain interfaces, and AI. This is a letter, and I'll quote this, from Richard Suen, PhD. And the letter is to the APA, the American Psychiatrists Association, I think it is. He says, the APA's healing and helping mission is accentuated by what the organization and its members are not supposed to do, namely, exploit or mislead other people. We are writing today about the latter prohibition. We are concerned that members of the APA are ignoring it for monetary gain. They are not using their knowledge to mitigate the causes of human suffering. They're using it instead to promote and assist the commercial exploitation and manipulation of children. As individuals, that is their right, of course, but as a profession dedicated to human welfare, psychologists have a responsibility to the public. The APA should not condone such behavior among its members, nor should psychologists look the other way. Close quote. Now explain what he's getting at after these are, I'll probably have to post that up on them. I'll take a picture. One page, and there's 2 more pages of PhDs and psychologists. 2 more pages, and 2 more pages, and is that it? Nope. 2 more pages, and do this. This is a new book. That was it. These were other psychiatrists and psychologists that signed on to his letter. And what he was explaining later on was, as soon as these psychiatrists got out of medical school, they were being sucked up by advertisement agencies. Instead of going into the medical field, they went into what makes more money. And the advertising agencies were using these guys to develop an ad that would get into the subconscious and the psyche of young children mostly. So that, how can we design an ad will get into their heads so that they will feel unhappy and unfulfilled and maybe even insecure until they buy a Hasbro product or a Mattel product, you know, a Barbie or a G.I. Joe. See what I'm getting at? They want a McDonald's hamburger. So McDonald's is manipulating their little minds. Wendy's wants them to buy a Wendy's hamburger. So now inside their subconscious there's this little war going back and forth. Now as an adult, let's say an adult, they're working on adults, you've got the Chevy guys pulled this way, Ford guys pulled this way, Dodge guys pulled that way, but we're adults, we're a little bit more able to deal with that. But children, their minds are still developing. And these psychiatrists, and they've taken an oath to do no harm, but they are developing ads, and have been for decades and decades, to make your children depressed. It all adds up to a depression until you buy them that pair of pants that they want, or those shoes that they want. And then that's never enough, right? Then there's the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. They know how to do that, and they've been doing it. Now here's the scariest part. Think that's scary? This is what's more scary. AI knows everything there is to know about human psychology. AI's read the books. He knows how to manipulate your mind. All right? And he is doing it. So think about that. My next video, I had a whole different direction I was going to go, but my next video is going to be on how to know if you're brainwashed and what to do about it, and how that connects to what's called cognitive dissonance. So that's as short as I can make this video. Eventually I hope to start doing some fun stuff with you guys. I got a lot of things planned, but it seems like I keep heading off on this direction. I love you guys. Stay tuned. Bye.